Hello, you guys. This is Gigi from Invite the Light coming to you. Um, I just did a reading a little while ago, and it was so traumatizing. And a political one. I put the private on that video. I'm just gonna destroy it. It's too. Woo! I felt like Agent Mulder or whatever. Sometimes the truth, you just don't want to know it. And well, I just couldn't go to bed or whatever, start unwinding for the evening with that in my head. And so I just need to shake off some of this energy. So what I want to do is do a reading on wonderful, bubbly, amazing Will Smith. So yesterday, Will and Jada, his wife, actually did a Red Table Talk, which is her show on Facebook, which actually I quite enjoy. I think it's very good. She interviews interesting people and she really talks about life. And the thing that I like about Jada is that she's unafraid to be unsheathed in front of the camera, and she's unafraid to evaluate herself like boldly. So her having Will on yesterday and talking about their relationship and the blocks in their relationship and getting to a place where they weren't living in a conditional love situation. Meaning that they had just gotten to the point where they know that they love each other, but how can the love coexist with the way that someone just naturally is in their personal process, perfectly imperfect, trying to get themselves to the next step and the impact that that has on that relationship. So it was very interesting. I hope I just made sense there for you guys. Sounded like I was like kind of speaking in circles, but I wasn't. And yeah, so I want to do this reading for Will Smith, who I really just always have appreciated so wonderfully. Will Smith, he's such a ham, but when he first started coming out with his movies, and I didn't fully know so much that had a little more intuitive energy. I could always see whenever I see him on those billboards or whatever, I just hear like Funkmaster Flex bomb explosions. I don't know if you guys know who Funkmaster Flex is, but he's like this DJ in New York, well known for when he does his mixes and stuff like that. He has these bombs that go off, when there's a new song, there's like this explosion or whatever. And that's always kind of, that sound effect is kind of always a way I kind of just always saw Will Smith standing on those billboards, like such big energy. So anyway, my thanks to Will over the years and my appreciation for Jada yesterday as well. And I did a reading for Jada, which I think actually came out to be quite accurate, based on what I ended up hearing her talk about later on after the reading. So I thought that was interesting, and if she ever sees it, I hope that it was of help to her. So I want to do one for Will. Here we go. So thank you for your patience in this. That's 4 minutes of talking. So Will Smith, yes. Already thinking about my brother, Will Smith. Yep, I'm just claiming him to be my brother. I haven't met the man a day in my life. Brother Will Smith. What can I do for you, brother? What can I do for you? Through my readings, through how I can serve, how can I assist you in your search to realize your highest destiny and your highest potential, along with your best friend, Jada Pinkett Smith? How can I assist? I'm going to ask highest, divine order of light, source, divine spirit. Okay, dokie. So I do see, the Smiths are somebody who's a very, very close family. There's some level of intoxication or something like that that goes over them, but also too really there's something. You know what it is? Oh my god. My god. This is what it is. They are like, as you know, they're all you guys are all on something what people would consider some next shit. Okay. We'll just keep it real. It's okay. You guys own it and you do your thing. It's all good. Um, you guys are kind of like, let's say, if this is the thermosphere we're in, you guys are kind of like in the stratosphere, like with whatever you're doing and manifesting and just existing. Um, that is what represents. That's wow. Wow. But you all are very, very happy. Very, very happy. There's something about this though. Whatever this is, I feel like you guys should just make sure that you kind of are only tapped in as opposed to just talking, whatever you're doing in spirit or whatever it is. Yeah, I kind of see it here. Um, well, when you are speaking to higher levels of source, do just definitely set your parameters that it is just, um, as a wise man says, beings that exist in the highest order of light, as a very wise man says. Because you got amazing and big energy, and it just can attract beings and things like that. It could just attract an energy that just is not progressive, and you don't want that. Okay. Some of that also may be the reason why you may be wondering, like, why the hell can't I just like get this one thing done? There's something that you really, really kind of want to do, and it's pretty straightforward, and you can't seem to get it done. You might not even be able to put your finger on what it is, but it's gonna hit you whether it's 3 months from now. Oh my god, that's what she's talking about. It was so obvious. It's because when you are just existing, you know what? I don't even think you're like calling out to anyone, but I think, some of your energy field just needs to be clear. You have possible parasitic type thing. We don't need to go into. You just need to clear your energy. Not your immediate energy field, but just when you go to just exist in such a big realm and space, it just needs to be either filled with light or having the parameters of light only. Um, so let's see. Yeah, definitely. When you're doing your meditation, if you're doing meditation, or you know what, I feel like you don't really meditate. I feel like more like you focus. When you focus, though, just be aware of how you're grounding your energy and where it's going to be grounded in. Because sometimes things that shouldn't be in the mix could be in the mix, and you just not aware of it. You've got big energy. You will attract stuff. You attract a lot of stuff if you don't set certain parameters. Okay, so all right. How do my readings always end up getting like so weird? Okay, let me just go on here. Yeah, I definitely think congratulations. It seems to me that maybe the last 2 years of your life, especially, you've been really meditating on where you kind of want to be. I feel like you kind of laid back just a little bit from making plans. Um, and it seems to make sense to me based on what you said kind of the other day, sort of like your plan and outlook for your family. And I think that you're at this point where perhaps your children are kind of grown now, and um, you and Jada, it seems to me, not to get all in your business or anything and talk like I know you guys or anything, but forgive me if it lands that way. Just please take it with a grain of salt for as a grain of salt. I feel like there's also this major, overture into a major level of transformation for both of you. In Jada's reading, I could kind of see there's a certain level of the both of you needing to feel safe. Not that you feel like you don't trust each other, but to get to that next level, what's going to happen is for I told her to put down the sword. This has been a lifelong thing for her, but you can kind of understand where she comes from with it because she's had to she's had to rely on herself a lot. So having to rely on yourself a lot, you become into male energy or into aggressive energy. I'm not saying she's an aggressive person, but I'm saying that there were some things where it was just her theme and her overall energy was like, you could lay down the sword, hun. You could lay the sword down. Your family wants you relaxed. Your man loves you like crazy, but there's that thing. And for you, well, it was like not getting involved in being hyper. I don't want to say hyper focused on that, but that's like the thing where it's like there's a little bit of a space between you guys because of that and because of your level of focus on it and because of you needing your own level of emotional safety too, that is a barrier. So it'll be very interesting to see what you both do. um, but as far as you're concerned, I feel like you have kind of got it, my friend, in a lot of ways. Like you're doing personal self evaluation. And I think you're doing self evaluation now on things that are strongholds, like things in the past you should be improving on, but you kind of couldn't or would have had to put a lot of effort into doing. Kind of, it's kind of like setting your ways energy. And it seems like you're really focusing and looking at that and also looking at how it has blocked you from your path forward. And that's also what this is actually. There's this level of um I want to say obstruction. It's not obstruction, but obscurity maybe. There's a level of obscurity, like veiled noise in front of you that you want to be able to move, like off of yourself. So I feel like you're digging deep and you're very diligent about it. Kudos to you. This is how I feel. Sometimes for you it could be a little bit awkward, but you know what? You have a really good team of light. I feel like you should be bringing in more light because I feel like when you talk to the universe or you think or you feel out and you do your law of attraction thing, I don't know if you believe in God actually. Um, it seems to me that, of course, you would be like God based, you know, us both being Black Americans and all, and Americans typically a Christian and all this nonsense. I'm just kidding. But, it seems to me that you probably would be likely familiar with that in your childhood. But um, now I just feel like whatever you're connecting to, whatever higher forces you're connecting to, definitely you have to have this rule that has to be of the highest order of light, or it has to be serving your highest destiny, and these are things a wise man, these are wordings. I knew this stuff, but these are wordings that a wise man gave me, so I want to give him credit. um so yeah, I mean, there's this obscurity there, and it's because of not setting those parameters. So to be really good, and you have to understand, you have a certain level of trauma, so even though your vibration is high, there's still this level of trauma within, inner child trauma, that needs to be transmuted out. And once it is, then you'll be naturally, well, yeah, you'll be like naturally able to attract a little, be free of attracting things that are not, fully matching what your highest intention is, let's say. So, it's not that you're dealing with anything crazy, nothing like that, but just, just watch that. because you have really big energy. And sometimes if you're not having certain rules, anything will come in and just, wow, this is great energy. Let me just be over here. Like you'll instead of attracting progressive energy, you'll just be attracting a little bit sometimes parasitic energy. And you'll see it pop up a little bit too. You'll see little evidence of it begin to pop up in not on the spiritual realm, but in the physical realm because of what's going on in the spiritual realm as well. So it's cool. Anyway, sometimes I feel like you get a little overwhelmed, but just really connecting with yourself, just really trusting yourself and really following your desires the way you are and have been you're going to really do well. That is where your certainty is. Your information is in your heart center. Your marriage is fine. Your wife is crazy about you, so it's okay. I know she got this card, and this was a major one that stood between the two of you. I feel like you've had a renewal in love, but then you also have this thing where you're trying to understand your role in the slight bit of I don't want to say separation, but there's a little bit of a space between the two of you. Again, it has to do with emotional safety within the both of you, and the both of you are mirroring this exactly with each other, and the both of you have father issues. And no, I'm cheating that from the show, you know. So when you also have father issues as well, although I don't think this is a particular issue of yours, but I'm going to say it anyway because maybe it'll hit you guys. When you have that level of abandonment, that lack of safety because the father figure was destabilizing the household, very early on in life, there's this trouble of giving, and again, what I see in this reading is you meditating really hard on that space, you pushing really hard. And I think if you follow with the heart, the answer is going to come a little bit better. And I actually see what's going on here because I actually have watched a lot of your videos over my lifetime about how you will outwork anybody. You will not come in off. You'd rather die on that treadmill, but you are not losing. And it's kind of like you're going about I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. I really love you. And this is why I'm doing this reading for you because I care. I'm just so appreciative of your spirit and your example. Okay, so you're going at this in that Jerry Maguire way. I don't know if you remember that certain line, when Renee Zellweger says to Jerry Maguire, things shouldn't maybe be such hard work, relationships, you're like going at it real hard, like you're training for a fight in the spirit of that, like you are going to beat this, whatever this demon is, whatever it is, I'm going to beat it. I'm going to tear it out of myself, like it feels like that kind of energy. But actually, really, you'll get the information you need if you just really focus on the heart center. And the heart center is the roughest way to go. Well, of course, but it's the only way. So there will be involvement of definitely some true difficulty, but you are going to find the jewel and the gem in the heart center, in the tears, in the pain, in the dark space. There's some work ahead of you. Okay. There's some work. And the meditation is really good, but going in the spirit of the way you're going at it, it's just it'll run away from you. That kind of energy. It's like you're creating this paradigm in your head, right? That this is something that has to be attained. It's not here already. I've got to get it. I've got to find it. I've got it, so you're telling the universe, like, I haven't got it. It's over there. I've got to get there, but my hands are tied and I'm going to just wallow through and I'm going to get there, so it's almost like you're chasing your tail. You're creating the chasing the tail syndrome, I will say. I never heard anybody really say that before, but that's what I see. That's how chasing your tail syndrome. The way to get to this is to really go in the heart center and you will find the answers that you need there. Like I said, the tears will come up. There's some really deep emotional trauma that you have, emotional scarring. Don't worry, so many of us do. And it's not pretty, but I don't feel like, thank goodness you're not the type of person in my eyes to like just mm, um gloss it over and act like it doesn't exist and sweep it under the rug type deal. Um, you will go into it, and it's definitely going to be a challenge. It's going to be hell. I don't want to say it like that, but it's going to be a big challenge. But when you come through out on that other side, you will be that diamond. Well, you will definitely be that diamond at your time. And I believe with these two cards here as well, that you somehow manifested this reading, which isn't hard for you to do because you have been so amazing. And you, to me, in my mind, deserve it, both you and Jada. With all the wonderful messages and enthusiasm and example that you've been throughout the world. Okay, I don't mean to seem like all in fan energy. All right, so we have here what you have with Jada is sacred, okay? And a lot of the love and things that you have with her is unspoken. Does that make sense? What I mean is, how you guys appreciate each other is more of a sacred exchange. A lot of it is quiet. It doesn't have to be all verbalized. It's just very great and very powerful, but it doesn't all have to be verbalized, and nor has it been. I feel like you may be tempted to steal away from this opportunity to really delve deep into the childhood where the pain is. And I tell you, what's happening is because it will start tilling the earth, your personal soil. It'll start tilling that, and therefore you'll feel unstable. You will be breaking yourself down, but I encourage you as well with, I don't want to say with professional something, but just consider discussing this with a trustworthy professional, because I can't give out professional advice, but I would say, based on these cards, what I can tell you, as far as the cards are for entertainment purposes, but what I can tell you based on what I see in these cards, what their meanings are, is that you should definitely push forward with this change. As a matter of fact, if you don't push forward with this change, the universe is going to pull you down like a conveyor belt. Like you falling on the conveyor belt at the airport. You're still gonna come forward. They're still gonna make this change. I don't know how to explain that, but just saying. So, definitely do that, and you will come through with it. You definitely will graduate, and your relationship will definitely come to that next level. You and Jada have such an unbelievably sacred union. It's just going to get even more sacred. Trust me, you guys, I feel like you have had some maybe rough times, and I just give you so many kudos to finding your way through this journey together and being able to completely strip. You had to have completely stripped down to trusting each other enough to even be able to get into this unconditional love path. This is something that definitely most of the earth can't understand. So fucking what? Fuck them. This is some higher level stuff here. So I give you guys kudos for that. The thing that has dragged you guys along, let's say, because, and I don't mean that you guys have been dragged along, but the so many opportunities to just allow yourselves to completely fall apart in an alienation. Um, the deep natural love between the two of you guys is the tie that binds, is the thing, it's almost like that unspoken thing that just keeps you together. If there really wasn't such this unbelievable inexplicable love. I feel like I don't see that you guys had a past life or anything like that together. I'm sure, but there's something seriously sacred here. And it's almost like it's so sacred that it's kind of hidden information, even. I can't tell you what your union was, if it was another life or something real special, something really coded as well, but sacred codes. So you guys have that. Definitely, I would say that as well. It's almost like you guys are a part of some kind of higher order or something like that. And oh, I know what it is. There's a certain level and there's a certain point in time where there is no timeline. Time is not linear, so there's no time. So you guys have always been together. Something like that. I don't know if I was supposed to say that out loud. Let's pull these. I'm very okay. And you know what's funny is you guys are off the hook because you guys have no attachment. That's what it is. You guys came here like, you know what? It's almost like you guys materialized here to do some higher level work in the spirit of Buddhist principles. Like there's no attachment because I feel like even though you guys know and love each other so much, I feel like after this, you guys won't even have another lifetime together. I don't know what I mean. You could if you wanted to, but at this point in time, you guys don't have that. That's my opinion based on what I see here in these cards. Only reason why it's not a sep it's only reason why is because you know in principle that it's not a separation. That dude, this is so deep. I don't even know if I should be even talking about all this. Um the order that you guys are a part of, um is a collective, let's say. Just the way it is in source. Everything is a collective. So you are one no matter what. So, I don't think there are gonna be any more lifetimes like this with you two. As a matter of fact, I don't think either one of you are coming back to Earth after this. Let me say that. Oh, and this card as well. There's a lot of silence. You're looking within, you're trying to figure out what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong. There's nothing wrong, okay? There's nothing wrong. It's just that the answer is in the heart center. It's not in the mental going for it. Like that's the energy I feel for you. I'm gonna find this. I'm gonna get it right. I'm not gonna fail. So it's not about you failing, and you and Jada have created such a long standing energetic fabric together that the more you develop and the more you get in a heart center, the more she will. Because there are definitely some levels of unsafety with Jada. You can see her reading. And by the way, I've never discussed anything in her reading or yours that you all haven't addressed on TV, or any subject that you've addressed on TV. The information that I brought forward would be regarding or building on those subjects, but not bringing forth new stuff. There are a couple of small things I saw that I didn't bother to bring forth because you've never discussed them in public as far as I've seen. Okay, so there is a timeout in communication, but I think what you need to do well is to check out where you've timed out in communication with yourself. And I feel with Jada, I feel that she is in the masculine, and this happens a lot with divine partnerships. But I can't tell that you guys are fully divine, even though it looks like it here. To be quite honest, it looks like a divine partnership. I'm sure it is, but I don't see like all the immediate cards. There's something secret, very secretive with you guys, or very top secret is a better word to say. Top secret sacredness with you guys. Anyway, so um You, as with a lot of divine partnerships, you are um, more in the feminine. You're not feminine. You're not a woman, but your energetic shade is in the level of feminine, and hers is in the masculine, 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 masculine. It's not that you can't be. I'm not challenging your manhood. I hope you're not confusing this masculine, feminine energy thing I'm talking about is another level, and it happens a lot with divine partnerships. Like the masculine will be, even though he's totally masculine, he will be in the feminine shade as far as emotion is concerned. And that doesn't mean that you're crying all over the place or anything like that. And there's nothing wrong. And you are more in the feminine energetic space or sphere a little bit, and she's in the masculine. So here's the thing with the time out in the communication with you guys, also it's good for you to just realize where you have timed yourself out in communication, and both of you are out of sync with your masculine and feminine. They need to be balanced. Okay, the key to it for you, Will, is to actually go back into this childhood with the father issue. Also for Jada, the same exact thing, her abandonment issues. And I saw her say that on the part 2, but I also said that in a reading, which I think I did about a week before. Yeah, about a week before that airing. So, that is for her. For you, I feel like you have run away with some of your problems, but there's also this level of abandonment as well. I feel that your father walked away in some fashion. I really don't want to start interpreting the cards, and because I think that's good enough. Um, it's almost like he stole something. He stole, he just took something and left. And to me, it had to do with your living situation. It's compromising your living situation. And perhaps he like up and left one day, just up and left. I'm not exactly sure. But as a matter of fact, it's very interesting because I know, that you said your father had actually passed away. That's just hitting me right now. You said your father passed away. So, um, my, my condolences on that. But there's something, I don't know what has happened between the time where you explained there was really a lot of emotional violence in the home and physical violence, and where you ended up kind of reconciling with your father in your adulthood. I'm not exactly sure, but there's still something there. It has to do with the child. And it does cause a level of aloofness, and there's this level of anxiety we have, and you actually do have it. Like, I have it too. It's just something that you and I share in common a little bit. And you become a little bit jokey with people. It promotes a really good side of you, though, an enjoyable side, very open side of you. But you would be that way anyway. But it also is a deflector because of this. So it would be very interesting to look into that anxiety that comes up that sort of drives that behavior in a way. I know it very well. To me, too. I identify with it very well, in my opinion. And I get breathing exercises. Can you check into pranayama? I find Dirga breath and Nadi Shodhana breath. Those are yogic breathing exercises. Very good. Very good. Nadi Shodhana is very good for coming into the moment and relaxing. Well, there are actually people in here. Hello. Okay. Yeah, I just really feel like you're going to go for this. I think you're teetering on the level right now. Actually, a couple of cards showing that you're teetering on the cliff of the abyss, let's say, and you're gonna find that you have even bigger energy than what you think you do. That is that even possible, Will Smith? And your journey, actually, when you start clearing and moving out a lot of this energy, you're probably going to be down for the count, which actually happens a lot of times when you do start moving out a lot of energy that's been, your body has been cellularly constructed on through your childhood and into adulthood. So you'll be clearing about 46 years of stuff, and you'll probably need to lie down, and you may even get a cold or something, but you'll be out for a couple days. That's okay though. Plenty of water, salt water, a lay of salt, it'd be really, really good. Green juicing to put live foods into the body, organic, of course, to keep the vibrations high. High vibrational food would really help in this point. Yeah, I definitely think that there's like some serious disappointments. There's something that you are emotionally stuck on. I kind of want to watch myself in saying that. I say that in a respectful manner. There's just something you haven't been able to heal, and that needs to be healed. Okay, so if it is getting yourself into a workshop, I always recommend, I actually came out and recommended the Opening Heart workshop with Peter Watson, if they're still doing it, because they're a little bit older. So I don't know, but they're amazing. God, that workshop's amazing. So, especially for getting out frustrations and in an environment that's a safety container for you to do it, a respectful container. And of course, obviously for you, you probably would need to buy 10 slots of this in order to have other people, like, just invite friends, so that way you all can just all support each other, or just people, trusted people. So no fans or anybody can end up in the room or anything, because you just need to be able to focus. But I would suggest that they have all types of things and methods to create safety. They're so good at creating safety and trust in a really fast manner. And they have a bunch of tools for you to be able to move out a lot of energy effectively and expeditiously. So it's pretty amazing. But your thing with Jada is, one, don't let this, I feel like there's a level of worry with this timeout in communication and stuff like that. There's something there. Again, the yogic breathing, you should check out Nadi Shodhana breathing, which is like the nostril breathing. It's Nadi Shodhana. And then the other one is Dirga breath. And there are a few others maybe that will resonate with you more than they do for me. But I do find that those help you to become really aware of the type of energy that's moving throughout your body, as far as anxiety is concerned, fear, all of those things. And it kind of allows you to identify it, observe it, and move it out, so that you can see that it's not really you. It's just as you say, fear is not real. It's a feeling. I know you didn't say those exact words, but you say something along the lines. So, very interesting reading. Well, I feel like if I read some more, it'll be too personal, but I can try to see. Let's see what this is. I feel like, just be careful. I feel like you're battling a overwhelming journey for you, and you're battling this. This is a big battle with ego for you. It's not a negative type of ego, but it's almost like this very strong persona you have developed over a very long period of time. It's almost like you have kind of like an alter ego, like a Sasha, like Beyonce has that Sasha fierce person who takes over. This alter ego of yours needs to have a fucking seat in the back seat. It does not need to be in the driver's seat. Beware of that. And this thing will take over. You almost won't notice it happening. So write yourself notes, put reminders in your phone 3 times a day, 9 a.m., 12 a.m., 6 p.m., type thing to reset, 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 reset out of the ego, because this is a very slick thing that you just slide into almost unconsciously and you won't get the work done. When you're out of this shell, this is uncomfortable for you. But just know the period of time that you spend out of this shell, and you talk about this kind of thing. Life is at the end of the comfort zone type deal. Once you really get out of this, stand out of this persona, whatever it is, this ego, it's an ego thing. It's a gremlin kind of. That's where the sweet spot is, and that's what's going to bring you and Jada together. And then you actually hitting this spot is what's going to bring Jada out of her shell closer to you. She will automatically start doing the work once you start transforming energetically. But I feel like you have to lead the way a little bit. I think it's hard for her to put down the sword a little bit. Do see her reading, so you know what I'm talking about, Will. Okay. Again, just to recap, the way to get to close that gap between the little bit of distance between you and Jada is through the heart center. You're meditating a lot, but you're kind of meditating like it's almost like a sport. This is something that's the heart center. So you have to drop out of the head, Will, and into the heart. So that will also happen if you employ breath. Okay. And then secondly, actually really going into the situation in your childhood and what seems to be the most sensitive or demanding situation now, which is standing in the way of you getting to where you were. As a matter of fact, this Aries person, I don't know if your father was an Aries, but it doesn't always have to, it represents an Aries, but it just represents somebody who embodies that as well. Actually, it probably was a lot of the father figure, but in certain ways, certain parts of you, this is interesting. I just got the hit. Even though you are a man, right? Because your father was so disagreeable in your childhood, which is why you stay a little bit more in the feminine. It's not that you are feminine. Okay, and that's some of that. And I'm not saying anything about being gay or anything or bisexual. That's not what I'm talking about. To embody more masculine, aggressive energy. It's not that you can't be aggressive. I'm not saying that. It's not that you can't be strong. You're strong all the time. But to stand in that kind of energy is like violence to you unconsciously. So the playful will, the make everybody feel comfortable will, everybody has to feel welcome. Everyone needs to feel safe type of will. And everyone has to feel inspired. You don't have to take care of people, Will. You don't have to take care of people. The best way you take care of people is take care of yourself. That's a message from spirit. It's not like it's new, but it's something that I think you'll be able to get, Will, for the first time through a new lens. Okay. So now it's going to have to be that you're going to have to feel comfortable with being in a masculine energy. It doesn't mean you have to go around being a dickhead. It's not that. But that energy, when you bring in that masculine and feminine energy and you balance the two, it's going to be great. Because there is some violence. There's some sort of self-violence going on. And I'm sorry, I lost the details on that because this reading's taking a lot of my concentration and I can't grasp every detail. But there's some level of violence going on with yourself, and it has to do with the suppression of the masculine. So that's one thing. It's interesting. Very interesting. But Okay, so there's this other thing. You just want to check out where you've timed out in your own communication, because as with it, you want to check in with this and see, okay, I'm not necessarily seeming to have the closest connection with my partner at the moment. Where am I not having the closest connection within myself? And it's time for you to go there, Will. It's time for you to go there. I am sending you so much appreciation, gratitude, and I'm sending you so much love and bon courage. And the cards show that you were totally going to do this. And when you do, um, I don't see this going on for years. I don't see this being some crazy dark night of the soul, but I do see you really confronting some very big energies, and some things that may feel a little overwhelming. But it's very funny. Well, you can do this, and when you decide to really face those things, it's gonna shake up big time. You're gonna come in that Will Smith way, even though, you know, at the end of the day, there's a difference between you and Will Smith, who we know. But you're going to, at your soul level, you're going to take that same kind of essence of Will Smith energy that you are, and you apply it with that same focus that you always have. When you say something's going to go a certain way, it's going to go a certain way. And you're going to go in there, and those energies that are no longer serving your highest destiny, your highest equilibrium, are going to be healed, transmuted into light, swapped out for peace. And you'll find that their next will very likely be a huge transformation in Jada. And I think the final one, where you guys will now, it'll be very interesting, because I think that once you get over this hump, it'll be very interesting. I think the word marriage might start sliding back in your vocabulary again. Um, it doesn't matter if it doesn't, but whether energetically or verbally, I think that's going to happen. Either way, good things are going on for your partnership. Again, it feels like there's a little bit of a distance between the two of you, but the distance is you both dealing with the trauma of the father and going into the heart center and really dealing with what's there and allowing it to be heard. Okay? So, Will, I love you. I love you, Jada. I appreciate you so deeply. I thank you so much. So much appreciation to you. I just thank you so much for holding space for people on this population to really enjoy you and to be inspired by you, and with people dropping like flies, like Bill Cosby and stuff like that, or, other people as well. I mean, just thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, good luck. I hope that this reading reaches you. I hope that this reading lands as what you need and the assistance that you may need. Um, as my thanks to you for being you. All right, my friends, blessings to you, blessings to your entire lovely family, and all the best continued luck in your partnership. Bye-bye now.